y'all, if you're a beginning seamstress and you'd like to learn how to make a ruffle, I can help you with that. Hi, I'm Miss Katie. Welcome to Heritage Ways. Now, I am by no means an expert seamstress, but I, do know how to make a ruffle. My mama taught me, and I'm actually making Little Miss Homemaker 2 skirts today. And I thought that you might like to learn how to make a ruffle for a skirt. So this is just a tutorial for a basic ruffle. Now, disclaimer, I am no expert. Like I said, I make tons of mistakes when I'm sewing. You can ask me to, cook dinner for 100 people and I've got that covered, but I have to make one simple skirt and it takes a lot of thought and concentration for me. But if I were to wait till I was an expert on everything, then I would probably share nothing. So here we go. This is what I cut off of a skirt I made for her. There's a video back several weeks or months ago where I made a skirt and it was too long and I cut part of it off. So this is, and I'm not going to give you the measurements because that's not really relevant to what we're doing. So you will need your length of fabric, and I have sewn it together and pressed the seams. So basically we have one big loop. See, one big loop, one piece sewn together. All right, so I have this. I have hemmed the bottom down here. I turned it under and hemmed it. So that'll be the bottom of her skirt. Now, I have zigzagged the top up here. That's probably not the best way to do it. Probably the best way is, to fold it under and hem it. But like I said, I'm not an expert and I get by with what I do. Hey, I've progressed. I used to duct tape hems instead of actually sewing them, so I've come a long way. I am going to just lay my fabric down, and I set my setting on a wide stitch. I'm going to sew 2 parallel lines, and one is going to be at 3/8 of an inch and the other one is 5/8 of an inch. So 2/8 of an inch or 1/4 inch apart. So I'm going to sew those, and then I'm going to show you how to make the ruffle. But actually, I already have this ready. This is another one, just one piece, and it's turned right sides together. I've hemmed the very bottom, and I've got this ready to gather up. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my 2 parallel lines of stitching right now for the gather. And then we'll go from there. Okay, I have sewn the 2 parallel lines, and I've gone ahead and started what is going to be our ruffle. And I'm going to show you how you get to this point here in a second. I did tell you 3/8 and a 5/8 stitch, but what I did on this one was a little bit further apart. This is 3/8 and 6/8 inch, and that just means on your machine, and that's the distance between the 2 stitches. I think it just makes it easier to gather. And before I show you the gathering, one more thing I want to tell you too is if you want a tight gather, or like that one is what I'm calling tight, then you're going to want more fabric. So you'll need to determine how much. Say you're making a tiered skirt, it's going to make a difference. So you've got, let's say you've got the base, here's her skirt, here's the top tier for Little Miss Homemakers. This is her waist, right here. So the ruffle that I'm making, this green one, is going to go at the bottom of this skirt. So let's say I want a really tight one, I might do double or 2.5 times the width of this, or let's say I don't want a really tight one, a really gathered ruffle, then I would probably do 1.5 to 2. So that's preference. This one is going to be a really tight one, and it's going to go on a red skirt. So let's come back to that one in a little bit. Okay, so let's look at how you actually make the ruffle after you've made the 2 stitches. So y'all come on in and let's look at this. One thing I do want to make sure to tell you is your 2 stitches that you've made. Remember, you've got your long stitch setting on your machine, and you want to have plenty of thread, and you also want, you see where these are started and stopped at the same place, each one of them. So I didn't start one over here and then one over, you know, the next one down here. Alright, so this is how we do it. This is what it looks like before. It's all the way around. So all you do is you take your thread, I just wrap it around my finger like that. The thread on one side, say the left side. Get those out of the way over there on the right. And you just pull it, and you just work it. Now, it's important to pull both of these at the same time, okay? And so you're just pulling it, and, you know, something I learned back when I was cross-stitching, when I was Little Miss Homemaker's age, always wash your hands. I feel like, I don't think I have to say that, but, you know, you never know. Always wash your hands before you start a project, because the oils on your hands can get on your fabric or whatever, your craft. Don't put lotion on before you start your craft or your sewing. Okay, what I was saying a while ago about the the distance is 3/8 apart right there instead of 2/8. It's just easier to gather that way. So anyway, you're just holding on to these 2 at equal, you know, you don't want to pull on one more than the other. Kind of like when you have blinds, you know, if you pull on one more than the other, they're going to be wonky jawed. Alright, so I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to come back over here and just move my gathers over. Ruffles, gathers. Is there a difference? I don't know. I'm just a girl I know how to do what I know how to do, but I'm not an expert at this. But you know what? If I can help somebody, that is awesome. If I can help somebody who knows less than I do, then, you know, that's great. That's what life's about. Alright, so now I'm going to stop here in a minute, and I'm going to go to the other side and just kind of gather that. And we're going to even these up later. I'm not really worried about that. How precious is this fabric, by the way? How precious is homespun fabric? Alright, I'm just going to kind of sort of get it kind of get it even, but not really. Okay, now I'm going to go to this other side, and I'm just going to do the same thing over here, and you just gather it up. That's a teeny tiny, and I'm going to show you how to make it fit on your tier or your skirt or your sleeve or whatever it is you're putting it on. Hi friends, let's read Galatians 5 verse 22 out of God's holy word. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law. Thanks for watching today, friends, and we hope that you will take time today to listen to someone else's story. because we at Heritage Ways, our family feels like that's one way that we can have more peace on earth is by listening to each other's stories, taking time to stop and listen and appreciate somebody for who they are and where they've come. Thanks for listening to part of our story today, and we'll see you next time.